Recently, we made a tutorial that covered using Microcosm as an external audio effect in Ableton and Logic. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check that out. This video is kind of a continuation of that topic. Today, we're going to cover how to sync Microcosm to your DAW's tempo, specifically within Ableton and Logic. You'll need a way to connect Microcosm to your computer via MIDI. A lot of audio interfaces have MIDI ports, which will work fine for this. If your interface doesn't have MIDI connections, you can use a USB MIDI interface like this one. Whichever one you're using, you want to make a connection from the MIDI out port or cable to Microcosm's MIDI in port. Note that this cable from the MIDI interface is labeled out. We'll connect this one to Microcosm's MIDI in port. In Ableton, we'll go to Live, Preferences, Link Tempo MIDI. Under MIDI ports, we see our USB MIDI interface. Check the sync box on its MIDI out port. Once we press play in the session, we see Microcosm's tempo lock into Ableton's tempo. When Microcosm is synced to an external clock, you won't have fluid control of its tempo. Instead, time is adjusted in the subdivisions listed around the time knob. 2x, 4x, and 8x on the right, and halftime and quarter time subdivisions on the left. In Logic, you'll go to File, Project Settings, and Synchronization. Under the MIDI tab, select your MIDI device from the Destination dropdown. We select USB MIDI interface and then check the clock box. In our session, we have an external MIDI track being sent to a Korg MIDI log. We have some simple chords that we are then affecting with a few different MIDI effects, like an arpeggiator. This just makes it a little bit more interesting. We have Microcosm connected to the output of the MIDI log, and Microcosm is synced to Logic's clock now as well. Let's find a cool sound. When we turn the metronome on and turn Microcosm's mix all the way up, you can hear its effects sync to the tempo. Now I want to record this into the session, so I'm going to turn the mix on Microcosm all the way down and gradually increase it throughout the take. Cool. Let's try a different preset with the same sound source. For this one, I'll turn filter all the way down and gradually open it up throughout the take. Now we're going to process this drum loop through Microcosm. If doing this seems unfamiliar, be sure to check out our video that covers using Microcosm as an external audio effect. Now this track isn't finished by any means, but hopefully it demonstrates how useful and cool it is to sync Microcosm's effects to your project's tempo.